barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So, man, I've been meaning to talk about this for a couple of days, and Aretha Franklin left no will. She has four kids. They say her net worth is anywhere between 60 and $80 million plus her catalog through perpetuity, and she has no will. You know what's about to happen, and I want everyone to have a sense of urgency. I'm gonna get to it the second half of this video, but I want everyone to have a sense of urgency in terms of protecting what they've created, what they own, because um, it's a shame what's going to happen with it. So what's going to happen? And I'm gonna just keep it real G with the lawyers are gonna filibust. I don't know how long they're gonna filibust. I've I lost out. I literally lost out on a home. Um, let's say I'm gonna explain this story to you in a second. About a year ago, one of my friends had a neighbor who was about to lose their home, and I offered them money, and I offered them money. I offered them a package for the home, and I offered them straight cash to move out, so they'll be all right. And it was a competitive price in the Crenshaw district area, and they said no. Oh no, they didn't even say no. They ignored me. They ignored me. And about 6, 8 months later, they they went into foreclosure. They literally got to be out this month or next month, excuse me, or they'll be out when the sheriffs come and lock them out. And their grandmother didn't prepare them for when she was going to die, and now the family can't pay the mortgage, and they're going to lose out on a huge asset that could have benefited their family to perpetuity. You know what I mean? They could have flipped that home into 2 or 3 homes in the next 20 to 30 years. They could have about 5 homes just based off the equity on that home and buying the next home and buying the equity. And they lacked protection. And that's the same thing that could happen with Aretha Franklin. And what's going to happen? Lawyers are going to filibust, and they're going to be on the same side. They're going to be on different sides of the courtroom, but they're going to be in the same back room. You know, they're going to filibust for months and months and months on end. It depends on how aggressive the judge is. And only God knows how long this would take, or if they have an honest person that's representing them, maybe they can get out of it in a fair amount of time. And that leads me to I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's not going to be 60 or $80 million when everything is settled. She had 4 sons, I believe. And it's a crying shame what's going to happen, man. It's just a crying shame how much those lawyers are going to make and take. And that leads me to tell everyone out there, get a living trust. And while you're living and going through life, I don't care how much money you make. I wish I would have known this when I was 22, 23, 24. Learn the laws on nonprofits, learn the laws on LLCs. And if you understand that, you will be okay. And learn about your 401k and how to pull against it. Um, and But I think it's just essential, man. I wish there was a lady on MSNBC I used to listen to, and now I want to shoot myself. I forget the lady's name. You know, she had that tan, and she's a multi-millionaire. Susie Orman. I used to listen to Susie Orman because I was enamored with how to make and save money, even though I didn't have it back then. And I wish I would have listened to her. I really wish I would have listened to her, man. She used to speak. Oh man, she used to drop so many jewels. You know what I mean? And I just pray. Let this be a lesson to learn. I'm just praying that everyone out there understands LLCs, understands nonprofit. Your 401k is not just a place where you save money and your employer matches what you save every month or every paycheck, excuse me. It can be a lifeline to the best version of yourself if you play it right. You understand? I'm out of the loop in terms of 401ks now, so uh, I don't have a 401k now. I have some, I have some insurance, insurance stuff and stuff like that, but some trust funds and all that. But uh, like they have certain amount of years where you can pull out and how much they charge you to pull out and interest rate versus because sometimes your 401k may be, say you want to buy a car or buy a home, the interest rate may be lower. Like the interest rates now are like at 5% if I wanted to buy a property. That's why I'm not buying a property. But if you have a 40 if you have a 401k, the interest rate may only be 3%. So you borrow the money against your 401k to put the down payment on the property. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to learn these percentages. And when you're talking percentages with in terms of hundred thousands of dollars, that percentage can easily be $100,000 or $200,000. So it may seem small, looking at it just on paper, like, oh, it's just 3%. But for 30 years, it's a lot of money. And but this is going to shortchange her legacy in terms of her kids' ability to expand her. You know what I mean? To expand the Aretha Franklin brand. Now they're gonna forever make money with the catalog. I can't never ever see You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman and Respect not being in these car commercials, these women product commercials. I genuinely can't see that happening. But imagine if she would have left a will. Everything is free and clear. They're all grown, I would assume, and they don't have an administrator above the property. It's just all four of them. They do as the will say do, and I believe she was sick for some time. I really wish someone would have sat down with her and spoke to her about the will. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I know she's a baby boomer, and baby boomers didn't have had a tendency not to trust the banks, not to trust the government, so they hid a lot of things. They carried their money with them. Uh, the shoebox underneath the bed, underneath the box spring, in the box spring, excuse me, in the hidden wall in the house. You understand what I'm saying? So, but let this be a lesson learned. I don't care if you have one house. I don't care if you have two houses, three houses, four houses. Get yourself a living trust. And if you have young kids, uh, the toughest decision you will make, uh, I can tell you this about an administrator, is having someone to trust to delegate your money. And I pray to God that I live here to see at least my son and daughter 18th birthday, 21st birthday, where I don't have to worry about that, because that was one of the more stressful things that I had to go through. And I recently had to do it because Kennedy is less than 1 year old. So we had to make adjustments and do that. But it's a nerve wracking thing. And I know many of us, why we don't do it is because we have a fear of coming face to face with our mortality. And it, it it's tough. It's it's really tough to fully grasp the concept. In my case, 50 or 60 years, I won't be here. You understand what I'm saying? Or maybe say, maybe I'll make it to 100. I don't know. But I'm just being pragmatic about the situation. So it's really hard to have a conversation. And when you have that conversation, you think of life with you not here with your kid. You think about, what if I have to bury my child before me? What if I have to bury my partner, husband or wife, girlfriend or boyfriend, you know, however you label yourself, life partner? I have to live life without them. There's so many different things that go in your head and out your head that we really have to come to heads with. And I would respect and hope that everyone has this conversation. Really, 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 really do. Because at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit you all. And it's only going to benefit us. And like having a conversation with your grandmother. Like, honestly, your grandmother might have $150,000 in her backyard, and only she knows about it. I'm being real, man. These baby boomers hide so much money, man, because they don't trust the government, especially the minority ones. And especially if they've been retired for 20 or 30 years. Old people don't shop. They use the same, they get to a certain age and they done bought all the shoes and clothes they want. They don't have the energy to go to the mall. You get what I'm saying. So when they reach a certain age, all they do is just save and stack money. And grandma literally can have $100,000 in the shoebox, because she don't trust the banks. I'm being real G with her. Your grandmother literally can have $100,000 saved up, and only she knows. And this is a conversation that needs to be had. And I know in the black community, there are many stories about that where they go demo a property. Google it. Google these stories where they go demo a property. And in my head, I could be wrong, but I'm always making this assertion or assumption that when they demo a property and they find like $100,000 buried in the backyard or in the back house or in a piece of a house, always think, man, that must have been a baby boomer that didn't trust the banks. You understand what I'm saying? And they kept the money in the house, and now the family's gone and had no clue. But I did this video. Protect your assets, please. All right, protect your assets. And I wish I would have did this video 2 days ago, because it deserves that. It deserves. You guys deserve to start having this conversation with yourself, with your spouse, with your kids. And when your kids get 13, 14, and 15 years old, start having these conversations with them. You're not preparing them for death, but you're preparing them for independence. You're preparing them for what to expect. You understand what I'm saying? Because like in G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. You know what I mean? So just prepare yourself. For real, for real, for real. I admit it's a humbling experience when you're talking about your mortality. Man, I'm being as honest and as genuine as I can. It's I wasn't afraid, but I'm afraid to live without my kids. You understand what I'm saying? So if my kid dies, they don't get it. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that that's a part of the living trust or the will, but these are the thoughts that go through your head when you're preparing your will. Like, God, you know what I mean? And when you do your life insurance policies and, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And go through all these life insurance policies, understand what a term life insurance policy is, because you can pull against those as well. Man, I got to get my business partner on. He's a lot older than me. I'm not a lot. He's a few years older than me, about 10, 12 years older than me. And he's completed all this stuff. And when he wants to, he doesn't like coming on camera. When he come on, but when I'm working on him, and he's gonna go through all this stuff, because just his life insurance policies, his family and legacy is cemented for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? Just his legacy, just his life insurance policy. Hold on. Hey, what's up? Okay, I'm up. All right, yeah. Excuse me. You got to stay up and wait till she come home, man. She working late, so I got to stay up. I always stay up and wait. You know what I mean? Don't let her put a key in the door. That's an old trick I learned from my grandfather, because my grandmother worked nights, and whenever he used to hear her walking down the hallway, I'm not sure if some of you guys live in Harlem. We have a co-op in Esplanade Gardens. 50 years, 60 years we've been there, and it's a long hallway in Esplanade Gardens, right? And whenever he heard her walking, he would always meet her at the door and never let her put her key in the door. Like, I've been up waiting on you. I love you. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, so I do that whenever she works, was it swing shift? So anyways, man, as I digress, um, where was I? Oh, about wills and about him. So in addition to what you own is what you pay into too. There's so many different ways you can go, but some of you guys are at a different age in your life. Some of you guys maybe 19, 20, 21 with kids. 35 with kids, 40 with kids like me. So you had different phases in your life. So some of you going to be aggressive, some of you going to be middle aggressive, some of you going to be extremely aggressive. You understand? But at the end of the day, take care of what you need to take care of, because it's nothing worse than calling your lawyer. I've never had this problem yet, but there's nothing worse than calling your lawyer every fucking week. What's going on? What's going on? When my father died, he left me $35,000 or something like that. He left me out. His policy was for $35,000, and my stepmom held it from me. And she held it from me because my father and I didn't have the best relationship. And I mean, literally, I mean, it was non-existent for the most part. And she held it from me for like a long time. A long time. I would say about a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe. And then she called me and said, you know what? I got to give you this policy. Maybe she tried to cash it. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But when she gave it to me, she said, and I quote, here, this is for you. Take this, and maybe this will help you go buy a house. She was being condescending when she said that. And that was the end of it. And then, you know, so at the end of the day, I'm thankful for the $35,000. It did nothing but help me. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, it's a great feeling when you get that mail where you got to sign for it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like it when you get them checks you got to sign for. You know, they don't put it in the mailbox. You know, you. But yeah, he left me $35,000. That was some years ago, and I don't know how much I turned it into, but you know, I mean, I invested that money into something that can help my family. But at the end of the day, man, I know I told you some stories about me, but and hopefully it helps. But at the end of the day, I don't care what you own. If it's one house in Alabama, I don't know what that market holds, but Mississippi, I apologize, has the lowest per capita in terms of per salary, right? Or if you're in New York, Chicago, or these major cities or small city, please take out a living trust. Please, if you believe in insurance policies, doing insurance policies. If you believe in gold, if you believe in silver, do your due diligence, okay? If you believe in cryptocurrency, or if you believe in stock, you know what I mean? Some people just put their money in, put their liquid in a McDonald's stock because McDonald's isn't going anywhere, or Bank of America. You understand? People play it safe like that. You understand what I'm saying? So there's so many different ways. Maybe people put it in the 401k. I don't know if I'm being repetitive, but I just want to drive this message home. Protect your assets. All right. Consult with an expert. I'm not an expert on this. All right. I'm definitely not an expert on this. So anyways, man, barbershop conversation, man. I feel really bad for the Franklin family because, God damn, 80 million. She's worth 60 to 80 million liquid. God damn. You know what? You know her. The first half of her career, she probably didn't earn not much. You understand? She got it the second half of her career because she was during the civil rights movement. I believe she was born in 1942. When was she born? Forgive me for not knowing, but I think Aretha Frank, 19, yeah, March 25th, 1942, August 16th, 2018. So at the end of the day, man, God damn, them lawyers about that. God, man, it's hurtful. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Take care of your assets. Please take care of your assets. I'll holla. Peace.